For that introduction. How are you today?
I am spectacular, thank you.
Good. It just chose now to tell me that the meeting is being recorded, so I'm going to continue. So I'm Bill McNamara with Westport Mortgage, where we help realtors sell and buyers buy. Today I wanted to talk mostly directed towards listing agents and talk about condos. Because when you take a listing of a condo, there's certain things that you could know that come from your mortgage partners that would help you position yourself when accepting bids, considering different bids. We've been preaching for a long time that somebody with, say, a Fannie Mae 3% down program is just as well qualified as somebody with 20% down. With condos, that's not always going to be the case. So what I wanted to do is just alert you to a few things that you should do. Someone wants you to list their condo, you want to list it, it's a great opportunity. Find out a few simple facts and it can really help you when considering bids, okay? First of all, FHA and VA have their own approved list. So if you wanna contact me, I can tell you whether or not that particular condo is on their list. And if so, that's a nice thing to have. It's not gonna be for all buyers, but it's a good thing to kind of know with certainty. If they're currently approved, there should not be any issues, okay? With Fannie Mae, there are a number of factors that Fannie Mae looks at where they might say a condo is unacceptable. And the reason that I'm talking about accepting different offers today is because when you have 10% or more down, a lot of those challenges go away. So if you have 10% down or more and you're doing a conventional mortgage, the condominium management company is going to be asked two questions, and they're both very important. One is there any pending litigation against the complex? Okay, this one is tricky because quite often there is, but it's okay. It wouldn't be a bad idea to dig a little deeper, find out what that litigation is, and ask me or Paul or Nancy or Karen. So take a look at it and ask one of our lenders whether they could move past that or not, because there's a lot of different types of litigation. Some of them are backbreaking and some aren't. The other thing that's come up twice recently and hadn't been for a while. The other question is, does any one person own 20% or more of the units? Okay, so this one, if you have 20 or more units in the condo and somebody owns more than 20%, it's difficult. I did not find an answer for either one of them. And so they are going to have to go pretty far off field to get
Houston, I think we have a problem. So that said, it looks like
are added. Does the condominium have 10% of their budget in reserves? And does the condominium put 10% each year into reserves? Two separate items, okay? And once again, this is a new challenge. On top of that, they also investigate the payment history of people, of individual units, to see how many people are delinquent and how seriously delinquent they are. Okay, so basically, you want to list a condo, find out what you can about it ahead of time. Find out what categories are going to work and what categories aren't. And then, you know, it may be a case where you have to tell somebody with 5% down, I'm going to wait for a 10% down offer because I happen to know certain things about this condominium. But what you're going to do is you're going to save time and money and angst for both sides, because instead of finding this out, navigate. We've been your mortgage partners since 2007, and
awesome. Thank you so much, Bill. We're not sure where he went, but I certainly hope that he's not stuck in some temporal vortex or some version of something. All right, Bill, thank you for that information. We appreciate it. Listing agents, if you have more questions about doing your due diligence on the financing side before listing condos, do reach out to Bill and he will get you that info. Calendar reminders for today at 11 o'clock, we do have Financial Peace University session number 3. happening at 11 o'clock right here in this Zoom room. And then at 1 o'clock, unscheduled, not on the calendar, I will be hosting. Paul, I love you. I'm going to mute you though. At 1 o'clock today, unscheduled, not on the calendar, I will be hosting a simple 45-minute Q&A. Bring whatever questions you might have, market-related questions, process-related questions, listing side questions, buyer side questions, KW side questions, industry questions, whatever questions you might have that would help you, that you haven't quite found a spot or a class or a session or a person to actually ask that to. Bring those at 1 o'clock today, and we will do an open mic Q&A for whatever needs that you might have. So we'll see you at 1 o'clock right here in this Zoom room for that. We had so much fun, and I think I'm still full, just by the way, from our potluck last Wednesday, that we just decided to do another one. So the second potluck of the season will take place this Thursday at 12 noon at 404 Main Street in Ridgefield. So do sign up for whatever it is you believe you might be cooking. I'll tell you what, every time we have one of those potlucks, I'm struck by the fact that if this whole real estate thing doesn't work out, we can always just go into the catering business, because what you all cook, holy Christmas, good stuff. So let's do a repeat. Let's continue to plug in and make sure that we're back in the saddle in terms of getting together and seeing one another, whatever that version means for you. Last Wednesday, just so you know, last Wednesday we had unmasked, we had masked, we had people who kept social distance, we had not, we had it all. So don't feel like if you're choosing to go down one path, please don't feel judged by that, right? We're at a point now in this whole experience that we're all just happy to see one another. And if that means that you want to come and continue to wear a mask, whether you're vaccinated, not vaccinated, kind of not the point. The point is you need to be as comfortable as you need to be. We'd love to see you. So if that means coming and being masked or coming and being slightly separate, we'd still love to see you. So make some decisions about that, but don't make decisions based on feeling weird about whatever your decision is. Know that we want to see you, and there is no judgment around how you choose to show up. Number 5 for the morning, don't forget, this is our last week for Insurance and Concierge Wheel of Names. We are bringing that to a close this Wednesday. So if you sold a house in the last couple of days, do make sure that you send that golden email to Sue Ringer and get yourself registered for that insurance referral for this Wednesday. Dive into KW Concierge Services to get that documentation into your command quickly and simply. And we will see you then again on Wednesday for our last pull. Our listings challenge, as you know, is also coming to a close this Wednesday. You will not have the final results on Wednesday morning because Wednesday is our last day. So we want to give you all of Wednesday to post as many last minute listings as possible to achieve our target. So if I can negotiate with Steve Scott for some time on Thursday, you may get that information on Thursday. And if he's resistant to that, we may have to push it until Monday because I am not around on Friday to negotiate with Dan for time. So we will have to see where we find some time to bring you those results. They'll either be Thursday or Monday, but I'm excited to do so. And what that means is you still have 3 full days. You have all day today, all day tomorrow, and all day Wednesday to go out and take a whole bunch of listings, right? If every single person on this call goes out and takes 1 listing, we'll be just fine, right? You got 3 days to do it. So what has to happen for you to go ahead and grab a new listing today? Homework for Wednesday. So 2 more things. Homework for Wednesday. As you know, we are approaching halftime, right? Wednesday is half year. Even more importantly, though, I want you to recognize that as of today, you have about 18 weeks left to write business that will close and contribute to your income for 2021, right? So even though it feels like half the year still left to happen for us, you actually have 18 weeks, not 26, to write some additional business. So here's what I'd like you to do for Wednesday morning's call. I'd like you to do a little halftime exercise. And I want you to take a look and see what your halftime goals were, which for many of you are going to be what were your goals for the entire year cut in half, right? Some of you work seasonally. So whatever your halftime goals were, where were you supposed to be by June the 30th? In these three categories. Number one, listings taken. Number two, closed units. And number three, income earned, right? I'll repeat those three categories one more time. Listings taken, closed units, and income earned. See exactly where you are as of June 30th and where you were supposed to be so we can have a discussion on Wednesday about goals versus actuals, recalibrating, resetting for the second half of the year, and really maximizing the next 18 weeks to make sure that you achieve or better the target that you set for 2021. Does that work for everybody? Is everyone accepting of that homework? You have a full 48 hours to do it. So, okay, excellent. Jeannie says yes. So if you don't like the fact that we're doing it, you're gonna have to talk to her. All right, last quick thing before, what time is it? It's 9:15. All right, I'm gonna give you a little unscheduled something this morning, and then Donis is gonna take us right into Marty Miller. I wanna finish this morning with 10 things to tell yourself today. 10 things to tell yourself today. Do you all talk to yourself? It's really important to talk to yourselves. So let me give you some things that you can start saying to yourself to make sure that your day, your week, your month, your year goes the way you want it to. Number one, I am fighting hard for the things that I want most. I am fighting hard for the things that I want most. Number two, I am taking action right now. I am taking action right now. Don't delay on action. If you got to implement today. Number three, I am focusing on the next positive step. I am focusing on the next positive step. Remember, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It's not about getting everything done. It's about getting the next important positive thing done so that you can take the very next step. Number four, I am proud to wear my truth. I am proud to wear my truth. I kind of love that one. What's your truth? Do you wear it proudly? Number five, I have a lot to smile about. I have a lot to smile about. I'm going to tell you what, just showing up here at 9 o'clock every morning gives me a whole lot to smile about because I get to see your faces. Some of you smile more than others, but we know there's smiles going on underneath, even if you're not necessarily smiling on camera. Okay, let's do it. Let's have a fun little thing. Everybody whose camera is on the count of three, put the biggest smile, the biggest close-up camera smile you can possibly do. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That was spectacular. All righty. Number 6, I am making the best of it. I am making the best of it. Let's face it, not everything goes the way you want it to every day, every week, every month, every year. You know what? You just got to climb over that. We have a word for that. It's called life. It's just what happens, right? Are you making the best of every situation that you are given each and every day? Number 7, I am letting go of yesterday's stress. I am letting go of yesterday's stress. Just think Frozen. Sing that little song in your head. Let it go, right? I'm letting go of yesterday's stress. And by the way, while you're letting go of yesterday's stress, let go of like the stress you had last hour or 5 minutes ago or last month. Just let it all, it's yesterday, who cares? It can no longer really affect you unless you choose to have it affect you. Number 8, there is enough time today to do something I love. There is enough time today to do something I love. Schedule management, work that in. There is time to do something I love. Number 9, I am priceless in someone's eyes. I am priceless in someone's eyes. And if you can't find someone who finds that you are priceless, you just come right back to me, because I think each and every one of you is priceless. As a matter of fact, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to ask Adonis for some help. Little dollar signs in each of these little Brady Bunch boxes, so that through your pricelessness, I see your smiles. Number 10, it's never too late. It's never too late for anything. It's not too late to get started on anything that you desire. It's not too late. Hey, want a bonus? I'll give you your bonus. My bonus for today on things you should be telling yourself: I will be the very best version of myself possible. I will be the very best version of myself possible. Tell yourself that every morning before you go. Know what that looks like, and you'll be amazed at how every fiber of your being will fight the whole day to make that true. Guys, I hope that's helpful. Start talking to yourselves if you haven't done so already. Where is my dear good friend, Mr. Adonis? Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Inspiring Monday. That's what I'm talking about, Rick. That's why Rick is the greatest. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about part 2 of the Marty Miller experience from last time about creating custom smart plans. So please take it away, Mr. Miller. Miller time on a Monday where there's no alcohol involved. That's Miller time on a Friday, thinking of the alcohol version.
Good morning, Keller Williams, and welcome back to the KW Command 66-Day Challenge 5.0, and today is day 18. We've been focusing on smart plans, and yesterday we started creating a custom smart plan. Today I want to walk you through a little bit more on creating custom smart plans and some of the limitations. So let's dive into smart plans using the diploma icon here, the 4th one down. And this is the smart plan that we started yesterday. So just a heads up, if you start a smart plan, prior to adding any contacts to it, you can always come over and make edits to that smart plan by clicking on the pencil icon. So let's dive into that smart plan that we had yesterday by clicking on the pencil icon. And I wanted to show you, don't mind these, I'm going to take these out real quick because we were doing some testing earlier. Yesterday we went over the actions, and these are the different actions that you can add into the smart plan. Today we're going to talk about the tips and rules section down here at the bottom. So let's go through these. With regards to tasks, you cannot add more than 7 tasks a day per smart plan. Delays must be added between to include more. So if this was a smart plan for maybe taking a new listing or something along those lines, right? It's an internal facing smart plan. Just a heads up that you can't have more than 7 tasks per day. So you may want to use your opportunity checklist, which we'll get to in a future video, to kind of make those tasks a little easier to assign, but max 7 tasks per day. With regards to text messages, you cannot send out more than 1 per day. So you can see it requires at least a 1-day delay between scheduled text messages. Just wanted to show you kind of what happens if you start to break any of these rules. So let's say that we added 2 text messages without a break in between, right? There's no delay. And so we're just going to put test and then test 2 on our text messages, and we're going to go to save this smart plan. You'll see that you get a pop-up with an error, and it's going to ask you to reconfigure your smart plan based upon the following rules. Smart plans can only have 1 SMS per day. Please add a delay in between the steps. So that's what it does look like if you start to break some of these rules down below. Similarly to texts, you cannot send more than 1 email per day. So you must have a 1-day delay minimum between your emails. Setting the delay between your steps, the minimum length of a delay is 1 day. So you can't have like a 6-hour delay at this point. It's 1 day minimum delay in between those steps. It does require at least 1 action between delays. So I can't have a 10-day delay and then a 10-day delay. I should just make that a 20-day delay, right? So you have to have an action between the delays. And then the smart plan in total duration cannot exceed 90 days. Now, this is an important one, right? The max length of one smart plan is at this point 90 days. Now, that doesn't mean that you cannot add smart plans together. Remember, we talked about the add to smart plan button here. So if I have a short-term nurture, maybe a mid-term nurture, and a long-term nurture, the short-term nurture is 90 days but reaches out to them every 2 to 3 days. And then the mid-term nurture is 90 days but reaches out to them once a week. And then maybe I have a long-term nurture that reaches out to them once a month. And then remember that long-term nurture can be restarted as well. So my third smart plan could be one that goes on forever and ever based upon the restart smart plan indefinitely. So there are some ways to kind of, if you will, daisy chain your smart plans together to have a smart plan series that lasts longer than 90 days. But one smart plan in and of itself cannot last more than 90 days. With regards to adding people to smart plan, you can't add more than once a day. So allowed once per day. You've got to have a delay. So you can't add them to one smart plan and then add another step to add them to another smart plan and then add another step to add them to a third smart plan. You've got to have a delay between the adding of smart plans. You also cannot add more than one version of a canned smart plan. So for example, you can't add them to the birthday smart plan twice. Due in, that's on tasks. Remember when we added a task step, it asked when do we want that task due. The due in cannot exceed 14 days. Restart flow, we just talked about that, the ability to create a smart plan and then have it repeat essentially. The smart plan has to be at least 14 days or longer in length. So you can't just text your buyer's agent, make your calls today, and then restart it so that they get a text every single day, right? You would have to create a smart plan that was 14 days or longer. It doesn't mean that you couldn't send a text, put a day delay, send a text, put a day delay, etc. But the total plan has to be at least 14 days or longer in order to be repeatable. Also, the restart flow, pretty self-explanatory, I would think, but that actual action cannot be added anywhere but the last action in the flow. Finally, per smart plan, touches cannot exceed. So you can't have more than 7 touches within 7 days. You cannot have more than 12 touches within 30 days. And you cannot have more than 15 total touches in one smart plan, right? So remember that you can add smart plans together, but one smart plan itself cannot have more than 15 touches. One thing to take note of, when you add a task to a smart plan, by default, that task is a touch task. Now, if this is something that you're doing that is not a touch task, like order the sign delivery, right? That's not something where you're actually reaching out to a particular client. You can change that to a non-touch task, and that will not count against your 7, 12, or 15-day max. So just a heads up, I do have some people that have created smart plans with a series of tasks. They go to save it, and they can't save it because all of their tasks are defaulted to touch. So one thing to kind of keep an eye on there. So that's it for essentially the tips and rules. When we come back next week, we'll talk about some final touches on custom smart plans and then how to add, view, and remove people from smart plans as well.
Thank you, Marty. That guy Marty is so thorough, right? He didn't miss anything. I think you got it all there. So tomorrow we're going to talk about adding, viewing, and removing contacts from a smart plan. So we will see you next time, all right? Bye, Alice. Bye, Ronnie. Bye, Tony.